It is written that America is going to suffer the worst famine that has ever been seen. And this is what Jesus prophesied. There would be earthquakes in diverse places. There would be famine. There would be pestilence. Nation would rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. That's happening as we speak. If 29 states are under drought and you're not producing in the grain producing states what you did produce at one time when you could feed all of America and feed the world that is hungry. Not today.
But this doesn't necessarily mean, per se, there's no summer, correct?
It doesn't mean there was no summer, although in many of the records we see, in fact, I've got a quote from Thomas Jefferson where he describes during the Dalton Minimum that that there were tremendous changes to the precipitation patterns. He was talking about droughts where they were getting less than a tenth of the rain they would usually get in a year, and also that there would be frosts in some locations in every month of the year. So summer happens, but your growing season can just be completely shot. Yeah.
Wow.
And such was certainly the case when we talk about the Maunder Minimum, which was again that period where it bottomed out completely for a bit.
Yeah,
so that was that was the real deal, and it was described here as all things that grew above the ground died and starved. And it's a well-documented period where famine ravaged much of Europe and indeed around the world. And all of this is complicated now by the pandemic we've been experiencing, the fact that the ports have been closing, the supply chain has been drastically impacted by this. The U.S. and the West in general, but especially the U.S. and Canada are really not doing a good job of managing the fact that this infection is going into meat plants, and now they're increasingly talking about harvest labor and social distancing on farms and even in small operations, which is
insane.
I think it's just needless to say that's a tremendous cost if it's even possible. I've seen articles out of Oregon and Washington where people who have orchards are already getting rid of parts of their orchards because they can't even forget the growing food and harvesting it. They can't even get enough labor onto their operation just to keep their stuff maintained.
We're seeing it all over here in my area. We're in a total breadbasket. The Okanagan Valley is a absolutely abundant agricultural area, and right now we're in mid-June, and a lot of the fruit stands that are normally open are not open. And a lot of these guys they can't even open their farms in the way that they have in the past because they don't have the labor. They can't afford to have these Mexican guys that normally come here come and sit in 2 weeks in quarantine and then get on the farm. So they're basically just taking these massive losses. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.